All right, so today we're not digging into a research paper or a news article. Nope. We've got something, well, something a lot weirder. It's like a digital ghost, this fragmented piece of text that at first glance just looks like complete nonsense. But is it really? Let's try and crack this thing together.
Okay, here it is. This is the whole thing, our entire source. I'm going to read this out exactly as it is. So, bear with me. Hey, heat. I don't feel, hey, what the feel, what the heat doesn't. Mother, thank you. Hey, what the, I just, hey, what? I mean, wow. It feels like a transmission from a broken down satellite, right? It's just chaotic, it's repetitive. It really just feels like digital static.
And that right there, that's the big question. What is this? Is it just a mistake? Some kind of hidden message? Or is it really just noise? To figure this out, we've got to treat it like a digital crime scene. Time to look at the evidence. So, first things first, let's break down the evidence. Before we even think about what it means, we have to understand what we're actually looking at. This is our evidence file.
Now, our evidence file, it's pretty small. We're only looking at a total of 35 words. But you know what? That actually makes every single word that much more important. Each one could be a clue.
And check this out. When you look at the word count, a few words just completely take over. Out of just 35 words, hey shows up 8 times, what is in there 7 times, and heat 5 times. That is not random at all. This kind of repetition is our first huge clue. It's telling us this isn't your normal everyday sentence.
Okay, so we know which words are the most popular. The next question is, how are they being used? Are there any patterns? Any phrases that pop up over and over again? We're basically listening for the echoes in the data, trying to see if a structure starts to appear.
And right away, the first and most obvious pattern is this one. Hey. It shows up a couple of times. See, that's not just a word, it's a whole phrase, an exclamation. It really feels like someone is trying to get attention, like a shout. Then you've got this burst. Heat. Just bam, 4 times in a row. What does that mean? Is it literally about the temperature? Or is it more of a feeling, like the heat of the moment? That repetition makes it feel super urgent.
And of course, we have this classic fragment, what the? We all know what that means, right? It's the universal sign for surprise or confusion, and it appears more than once. It's not a full question, but the feeling behind it, oh, it's crystal clear. That's the sound of a brain trying to catch up with something it didn't see coming.
But here's where it gets really cool. When you line these patterns up, a kind of story starts to emerge from all that chaos. I mean, it's a bizarre story for sure, but there's a real emotional arc to it. First, you try to get attention. Then, you express some intense feeling. And finally, you're just left completely confused.
But the most interesting part of this whole thing isn't the pattern. It's the moments where the pattern breaks. This is what I like to call the human ghost in the machine. The anomalies, the words that just don't belong.
Okay, this is where it gets really fascinating. You can basically split this entire text into 2 camps. On the one hand, you have all that repetitive, almost robotic noise, the hey, what, heat. But then, hiding in all that static, you find a clear human signal, words like feel, mother, and thank you. These just feel different, don't they? They've got some real emotional weight to them.
I mean, let's just stop for a second on this one word, mother. Just think about that. Surrounded by all this fragmented shouting, this one word is like an anchor. It's so emotionally charged, so personal. It's a total outlier, and it forces you to rethink everything you've just read.
And then you get this. Thank you. That's not a fragment. It's a full, coherent, polite phrase. It's this perfect little moment of clarity, a totally normal human interaction just floating in a sea of noise. If you needed proof that a person was behind this and not just some glitchy bot, well, this is it.
All right, so we've looked at the evidence, we've found the patterns, and we've even found that little human ghost in the data. So, what's the verdict? Let's put it all together and see what kind of theories we can come up with.
So what are the top contenders here? Well, it could just be a technical screw-up, right? Like a bad auto-transcription from a really noisy audio clip. Or maybe it's on purpose, like a piece of abstract art or digital poetry. Or, hey, maybe it's something secret, like a coded message. Honestly, without more context, it's impossible to know for sure. Any one of these theories could fit the facts.
And in the end, this tiny little 35-word puzzle, it's kind of like a perfect metaphor for our lives online, isn't it? We're just swimming in fragments, noise, and bits and pieces of information all the time. And that leads to the final and maybe the most important question. It's not just about what this specific text means. It's about how we find meaning in anything anymore. In this giant, endless ocean of digital noise, how do we get good at spotting the signal?